If, like me, it's always been your dream to have Pete Donaldson in your pocket, today is your lucky day because
Arigato gozaimasu.
we've finally got a Pete Donaldson soundboard.
Chris, you're the real monster.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Patreon vlog. So this week we had a Q&A video, the first Q&A video I think in about 2 or 3 years, and it did obscenely well. I'm not really sure why. That probably had something to do with the fact that most viewers agree with me that E.T.'s face is terrifying. On Patreon alone you sent in over 50 questions, and so today I thought I'd go through and actually answer a lot of them because I didn't get to feature them in the episode on the Abroad Japan channel. Before we get stuck in, as I said, the Pete Donaldson soundboard is now active with about 25 quotes from various videos and podcasts, each more confusing than the last.
She clearly licked the wall.
I don't know what that's from. My favourite one's this one.
Bastard!
Could definitely see lots of uses for that later on down the line. But check it out, hopefully you can find some good quotes on there that you can use in interesting and productive ways. Right then, let's dive in to your questions. First off, what have we got? When will he read hate comments again? Let's do it right now. You jackwagon! Cup noodles are garbage! Jackwagon. It's my new favourite word. I don't know what it means. Is it a compliment? An insult? I don't know. All I know is he's wrong. Cup noodles aren't garbage. They're amazing. Look at this. This is what I'm going to have for lunch later today. It's Sendai flavour. It's my first time to have it, so I don't know what Sendai flavour is. It does say miso, so maybe that's it. Let's check out another hate comment. I do what I want. Fuck your channel. I think that's on the 12 things not to do in Japan video. That video gets the most hate out of all videos I've ever made. Something about people being told what not to do seems to rub them the wrong way. But if you look on that video, like 1 in 4 comments is someone telling me to go fuck myself. The main reason I don't do hate mail reading videos these days is I just don't get enough hate, or hate that's interesting. Like those 2 comments, only one of them was interesting, just because it used the word jackwagon. Hopefully at some point this year we'll be able to make another video. I just need at least 20 comments to make that happen, and so far I've got about 4 or 5, so we're about 25% of the way in. But it will happen at some point, I'm sure, that I've seen. And hopefully you can get a grasp of how Japanese humour seems to work. And even though many of them don't have English subtitles, you can still kind of get the humour because they're quite physical, a bit like Mr. Bean. But do check them out. I'll leave a link on the Patreon post to some of my favourite ones. Brian says, my question is, a lot of vegans have stated difficulty in eating in Japan. A struggle I'm concerned about that exists in a similar vein is, are there any taboos against not drinking? I'm someone who doesn't normally drink, and it seems like the alcohol culture is a bit more normalised over in Japan. Is it considered rude to refuse alcohol, and if so, how would you recommend dealing with it in the most polite way? Obviously Japan has that image where all the salarymen sit around getting drunk in the evenings and drinking a staggering amount, and that is something that does happen, I can't deny that. But actually over the last few years I've seen a lot of studies that younger generations are kind of turning their back on that drinking culture, and if they go out and have to join their boss for a drinking party, they'll just have some non-alcoholic drinks and then head off early. It really isn't rude to refuse alcohol. Just say, oh, I've got to do something tomorrow, or I just don't like alcohol. That would be a legitimate excuse. I don't actually enjoy drinking as much as I used to. I still do it if I go out with someone like Natsuki, because he often drinks a lot, and I feel like it would feel wrong to watch Natsuki get progressively drunker while staying completely sober. Yeah, no, don't feel any pressure about it. It's not rude at all. Don't worry about it. Are you any closer to meeting Ken Watanabe? You know what? I've got a shout out from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Bryan Cranston. I spent a week with Hyde. I've even sung happy birthday for Elon Musk, and I've given Prince Andrew, the Queen's son, a glass of champagne at an event, although I'd rather forget about that now. And I've still not come any closer to meeting Ken Watanabe. I almost came close when I went to make a documentary about the tsunami 2 years ago. We went to his cafe, and we were actually supposed to meet him and interview him. But the coordinator that I hired to help me prepare everything and set up the interviews messed up the dates, and that didn't happen. Ken Watanabe was at his cafe 1 week before I turned up to film, and I was absolutely fucking livid, and I've never lived it down. But there is something I'm working on, potentially next month, where there's a 50... No, it's not 50-50. There's an 80-20 chance that I could meet Ken Watanabe. 80 that it won't happen, 20 that it will. If it does look like it's going to happen, you'll be the first to know. I'll let you know, but I'm not holding out much hope at this point. In many videos, you emphasise big cultural differences between Japanese people and the rest of the world. This can obviously get in the way of making friends. Have you had any good Japanese friends other than Natsuki and Ryotaro in the 7 years of your life in Japan? Do you think cultural barriers are too high, so foreigners mostly stick to each other when they move there? I'm experiencing this issue in the Netherlands, so I was wondering if it's like this in Japan as well. Yeah, I find it quite hard to have a connection with a Japanese person. There are lots of cultural barriers, and often you'll dive into a conversation and they'll make it painfully clear that you're foreign. Like, they won't just have a normal conversation. They'll be like, wow, you're in Japan. Wow, you can speak Japanese. Wow, chopsticks. And that is not an exaggeration. I've met thousands of people over the years, and you have these kind of repetitive conversations, these kind of conversations that make you feel like an outsider. And the thing that a lot of my friends have in common is they don't make me feel like that. Whether it's Natsuki, Ryotaro, Yuki, my good friend Yuki with his tiny beer, or my good friend Roy, who was in the Journey Across Japan Niigata episode. They made me just feel like a normal person, like a friend, and that is something that can be difficult to find. All I can say is keep going out, keep meeting people, and eventually you'll find those kind of characters, those people that you can build a rapport with, who won't make you feel awkward or special or different. And when you do, things in Japan get a lot better. Do you feel it's important to have your usual or true self on camera, or do you feel the need to create a certain persona for the camera and videos? You know what, I remember getting really frustrated making videos on the Tokyo Creative channel. I do enjoy it, I enjoy making videos there, but I found whenever I did videos with Emma, Tokidoki Emma, where we sat together and did stuff, which was always fun, the fucking comments would be so annoying. They would be like, oh, Chris is so bitter and grumpy, why is he so negative? Because people there, for whatever reason, didn't get that I was kind of playing a character, I was playing a persona, a kind of more exaggerated form of myself for entertainment value. In real life, I'm actually a relatively nice person. But that's not interesting. People don't want to see that. I wouldn't want to watch that. I'd rather watch a kind of evil version of me on camera. It's much more entertaining. And I always say that to people that are starting a YouTube channel. Like, be who you want to be. It's much more fun to do it. Like, I enjoy doing Abroad in Japan videos because I get to be someone slightly different, someone a bit more repulsive, someone a bit more evil. It's almost like an alter ego. Well, that is basically just me, but swearing more probably. What is better for a first-time visitor to Tokyo, having a jam-packed itinerary or having no plan and just seeing what random things you stumble across? I've really grown to hate showing friends around Japan if it's their first time, because we always do the same things. We go to Tokyo, go to, Asakusa, Sensoji Temple, Shibuya Crossing, just because they want to see it, they want to get the photos. Go to Kyoto, look at the Golden Pavilion, and there's often a lack of just adventure and spontaneity. And when people come for the second time, that's when things get good, because we can just do what we want. We can just get in the car, drive off somewhere randomly and see what happens. I think the best way is just to say, today I'm going to go to Shibuya and I'm not really going to plan what's going to happen, I'm just going to wander around and see what happens. I think that's the best way to do it. Pick a location where you know lots of things are, and then just go there and spend a few hours and see what you stumble across, see what you find. And I think that's the best of both worlds, right? Because you get to go and see key places and attractions, but you also have that kind of sense of adventure and spontaneity that comes from an unscripted holiday. So that's my advice. Loosely scripted, and I think that'll be the most rewarding option. What effect do you think coronavirus will have on visiting Japan in the future? I'm hopefully visiting in November, and I'm wondering how it will have changed. I'd like to think that things will be better by then, especially as a lot of my friends that cancelled in April and May are going to come in around September, October time. So I really hope it's going to be better by then, but I don't want to make many assumptions. Hopefully it will peak in April, die off in May, and things will start to go back to normal in June or July. But if it's still this bad in November, there's going to be a lot more things to worry about, like the whole world economy collapsing. But no, fingers crossed it improves. Seriously, I want that more than anything. Has your response to the virus forced you to cook more at home? If so, what are some of the recipes you're making for yourself? Yeah, definitely. I've been cooking a lot more at home at the moment. Today I am cooking and preparing a local Sendai dish, Sendai ramen. It's kind of infused with miso sauce. That's going to be what I have for lunch. And then this evening I might have an omelette, because that's the only thing I can cook from scratch. But this is pretty hard to make. You can mess up the levels of water, or you can mess up how long you leave the water in. It can always go wrong. It's not as simple as you think. So yeah, I've been unlocking my inner chef during these difficult, tough times. And with that in mind, this healthy, nutritious lunch isn't going to make itself, so I better go off and make that. As for what's coming out this month, I'm turning 30 years old in about 2 or 3 weeks, and that's nothing to get excited about. It was going to be quite good, I was going to have fun, but now I'm just going to be sitting indoors doing that. But I might make a video, I might do something about turning 30, if I can think of a topic or something to speak about. This week I've got a video about crazy Japanese English coming out, inspired by the shirt that featured in the recent Q&A video, has high functionality. Again, it's been about 2 or 3 years since I made the last Japanese English video, so I'm really looking forward to that. And for the next month or two, all the videos are going to be here in the apartment, like the good old days, which is fun, to be honest. I really like making those kind of videos. It's nice to kind of go back to my roots and make videos that are good. But for now, guys,